What's up, homies? It's your big homie Pachuco Sam, man. Good afternoon or good evening. I was watching a video the other day on right here on YouTube. There's something going on over there in Cali between the Hispanics, the Chicanos, and the blacks right now, where they're at going back and forth. Because of a video that was put out by some guy. He's a YouTuber, content creator, and he basically he's a black dude. He has a channel. I forget his name. I just happened to be scrolling and I saw his video, and he's going off about how he's basically saying he made a video saying that lowriding is not Chicano culture, and it doesn't belong to Chicanos. It belongs to both Chicanos and blacks. And that he went on further to say that, what did he say? He said something about all his OG homies that he knows are black, and that they weren't influenced by Chicanos. They were influenced also by blacks. Here's the thing. I don't know how old that dude is, or I don't know who he is. I'm not out here talking shit about that vato, because I don't even know who he is. He's over there from Cali. I'm way over here in Texas. And the only reason I'm even speaking on it is because there's a connection there. Lowriding, there's a connection between, Cali and Texas. We've been lowriding too. We started a little bit later. We started like in the late 70s, early 80s and stuff. When Cali was doing it, they have been doing it for a lot longer. It wasn't until like Lowrider magazine came out in 77 that it made it popular, to the rest of the world. But anyways, so this guy's under saying that, it doesn't belong to us. It's not our culture. Blacks are doing it too from the beginning. Well, he must not know his history. I don't know. He didn't do his research, but I'm a history buff. I wouldn't go out there and consider myself like a Chicano historian or nothing like that. I know what I know from what I read, the research that I do. And from my understanding is the Pachucos in California are the ones that started lowriding way back, like in the 40s and stuff. They were taking the cars like from the 30s and lowering them down, cutting the coils, putting cement bags in them and stuff like that, But so was everybody else, the hot rodders, the white boys were doing that. But the Chicanos had their own style, their own flavor. So it started let's get that straight. Lowriding didn't actually start like in the 70s or the 80s or nothing like that. It goes way back. Lowriding's been around since like before hydraulics and custom rims and all that stuff. These vatos used to work on their cars. When you would lower a car, especially back then, those bombita cars, man, they would look fucking badass. Lower to the ground. But nobody had yet invented the concept of the lifts, the hydraulics. Some people used to put wooden blocks and stuff. They would have to lift the car up with the jack, and then put the blocks or whatever they would put in between the springs, the suspension and the frame to raise it back up. It was a pain in the ass. But yeah, it started way back then. The Pachucos and Califas are the ones that started lowriding. That's been proven. It's in the history books. It's written. It's documented. And now, if blacks was doing it too back then, I don't know. I mean, they probably were. I mean, probably other groups, because you have to understand, back in the days, back then, and those times, in the 30s and the 40s and stuff, there wasn't like this rivalry, like between like minorities, like there is now, because of the gangs and stuff like that. Back then, if you were poor, it didn't matter, like if you were like white, black, Mexican, Czechoslovakian, Chinese, or whatever. If you were from the same neighborhood, man, you were part of that hood. You all got along. They didn't have all these codes, all these gang codes, dividing everybody. Every minority had a common enemy, and that was the white dudes. The white man, the system. That's might sound racist and shit, but it is what it is. That's the way it was, especially in California. But all the minorities, they stuck together because they were poor. If they started off with the Chicanos doing the lowrider thing back then, I don't know. But I do know that blacks and Chicanos have always intermixed with each other. They always like for example, the Chicanos wear zoot suits. We wear zoot suits, with the big fedoras and stuff like that. But that's actually, it's part of our culture, but we don't own it. We didn't start that fad or that trend. Actually, it didn't even start in California or Texas. You know what I'm saying? The guy that invented the zoot suit, Harold Fox, he was from Chicago. It just happens that he used to be a part-time musician, and he used to go to places like Louisiana, in the Bronx, New York, and places like that where jazz took off, and it's part of jazz culture. I'm not going to sit here and argue and say no. I'll be stupid to sit here and say no. Zoot suits don't belong to the blacks. That's our culture. We started it. I mean, no, we didn't. And like I said, it's been proven. It's documented. The idea came from Harlem and New York and places like that on the East Coast, where Fox and other people like him would see these people wear oversized jackets, oversized top hats, tuxedo coats and shit like that. That's where they got the idea from. He went back home and he designed something and he made it into something. Harold sold his first zoot suit in 1938 to a guy from over there, from like Harlem in New York or somewhere over there. I don't remember right off of the top of my head, but he invented the zoot suit and he invented the accessories to it. Man, he invented the zoot suit chain. And it became popular, just like now. I mean, clothes are clothes. It's like, Jordans. Everybody wears them, not just a particular race and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Levi jeans, not only Mexicans wear them. Cortezes, not only Mexicans wear them, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own style, their unique thing that they contribute to society. It's just like here in Texas. All the Mexicans over here, all the youngsters, they drive those slab cars with the big rims that stick out, hit the curb or whatever. I mean, a lot of Mexican people do it. A lot of Puerto Ricans do it. A lot of Salvadorians do it. I mean, not only blacks, but the style originated from the blacks. It actually started in Third Ward. They started that style. That's their style. Now, that the Mexicans and everybody else does it now, it just became popular. Same thing in California. Our raza, our people started lowriding. We were the first one to implement hydraulic suspensions in the cars. What was the guy's name that put the first hydraulics? Ron Aguirre. He was from over there, from Califas. he was an engineer dude, man. He saw like these jacks and stuff, you know, how it would raise the car up and down, and he got the idea from there. It just happens that, you know, he was trying to find cylinders and dumps and pumps like that, but they weren't available at the time. It wasn't until like around the 1950s when they started decommissioning the old aircraft parts from the 40s, the old warplanes, the old dump trucks and stuff, anything that had a hydraulic suspension. He started experimenting with it, and that's where he came up with the idea, you know, little by little. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. But I don't know why people like that from over there, from Califas, are like that. I mean, everybody wants to be like the only one or the first one that did this and that. I don't know. I mean, that's over there. That's their politics. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be speaking on it. But as a Chicano, I kind of sort of took a little offense to the homeboy's video, man. How are you going to sit there and say that that's not our culture? It is our culture. Now, that you participate in that culture and you like that style, that's fine. Nobody's like saying anything against that, man. More power to you. You know what I'm saying? People are doing it in Japan and the Philippines and shit. Like, it's worldwide, man. You know what I mean? So, man, I can't remember that vato's name, man. The guy that did that video, but people shouldn't be like that, man. I mean, it's just like rap. Well, I mean, West Coast rap. You know, it's black culture. Rap is black culture, no matter which way you look at it. I mean, when it first started up, I'm pretty sure rap goes way back too. I'm not too sure about rap history. I'm not like up to game with rap history, but I know from what the documentaries that I've seen is that it started in the 70s. But I'm pretty sure people were rapping way before that. You know, it just happened so that it blew up in the 70s, and the blacks and the Puerto Ricans started doing them. The Puerto Ricans always got along with the blacks over there on that side, you know. They grew up together. And, you know, they were the first ones to popularize rap music, hip-hop, or bebop, or whatever it's called. Whatever it was called back then. You know, they invented breakdancing and stuff like that over there too. But you just can't sit there and say that there's no evidence that we started that lowrider shit, man. Because we did. We started that shit. There's no ways around it, and to say that there's no proof, man. There's a lot of proof out there, man. It's been documented. I don't know. I don't know if that dude has just never done his research. He's ignorant to it. You know, he's never watched a documentary or something. He's never read a book or something. That's what's wrong with kids today, the youngsters. Though they won't do the research correctly. They'll go and they'll make their own assumptions, or they'll take something that they saw on Google or YouTube or something and take it for face value without, you know, checking, you know, sources, you know, without doing their homework, without checking the paperwork, basically. But anyways, that's what I think. And that's, you know, like I said, that's over there on the West Coast, but low riding is worldwide, and that's something that's part of our culture, and that always will be part of our culture. That's just the way I feel. That's just the truth. That's just the way it is. I don't know what to tell that dude, man. Hold on. Well, that's enough of my rants. I just wanted to get that out of my chest, you know. And Stay tuned for more content.